I think it's flexible. We were going to give him a call for his new book on having. This guy had such a Twitter war with Donald Trump. There were so many replies that he was able to turn it into a very amusing book.
And like
that is some epic trolling right there.
A book with 70 pages, like
that's your kind of book.
And there's multiple tweets per page. I mean,
yes.
Do you have any Twitter feuds with anyone that you could do like this many? You could fill a book with the tweets between you.
Nobody cares enough about me to have a Twitter feud. I'm trying to think if I ever. No, but I used to watch. You know who used to have a good one was Michael Ian Black and Mark Maron used to go back and forth together. But it was sort of like a tongue-in-cheek, like they weren't really fighting type thing. But that was very interesting.
But what's crazy is that this lasted longer than some relationships.
Yeah, you're obviously talking about yourself.
No, I'm just like, you know what, like to have a relationship with someone, be it online, on Twitter.
Yes.
That is impressive.
That is unbelievable.
That's a level of commitment that most people don't have.
I've noticed that Trump pulls out some of his old classics along the lines of "You're a total loser."
Well, those were new classics at the time.
Oh yeah, I mean this was going back.
Well, I think we have Danny now. I think
Do we have him? Daddy, can you hear us?
I hear you loud and clear, or at least clear.
Well, no, believe me, we're both very loud. Thank you so much. This is Bill Schultz, Joanne Osaczynski. Don't try to say that last name too much.
Hello.
It's very difficult.
Hello. I can't do that last name. It's too early.
I don't blame you. We were just talking about he started it. This is unbelievable. Especially to the point of how long it lasted. Joanne brought up a great point that your relationship with Trump lasted longer than most people's relationships, period.
Yeah, and certainly longer than most of his relationships.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. How did, I guess if you don't, let's just start from the beginning. How did this first transpire? Because this is way before the election.
Oh yeah, no, this was 2013. I was home, not minding my own business, trolling him. You know, I don't go after celebrities that often on Twitter. I would mostly try and make jokes about my own kids or something, because it's a little bit easy to hit, the buffoonery of a celebrity. But, you know, he just was one of these guys that no one would ever fault you for hitting.
Right.
This is back at a time where everybody knew he was an idiot, not just 70% of us. So I had said meaner things to him in the past. This one was pretty tame. He had claimed that The Celebrity Apprentice was the #1 show of the night. And I just tweeted back at him. I said, cool fact, here's what really happened, where I posted the actual rating where he finished last in his time slot behind a Family Guy rerun. And
that's hilarious.
And then we were off to the races. I could not believe it. It was really mere minutes later that he's like, that's a lie. This is, tell the truth, Danny, and all this. And then from there, it just developed.
That is pathological. And also, you almost unknowingly sort of hit him right in the sweet spot, which is just sort of attacking any stat or detail that would somehow make him look not better than the best person in the history of awesome.
Yes, I mean, there is nothing more important to him than being respectable, and yet there is nothing he works less hard at than actually being respectable. You know, it's just about trying to see. He just wants you to see him as such, but he can't. And it was funny when I started to put together the book, which I'm doing for charity, I should mention. It's all the proceeds from all my profits from the book are going to Planned Parenthood, the World Wildlife Fund, and that organization that helps people at the border races. But when I was putting together the book and I was having people read it, some reviewer at a newspaper she called me and she goes, I mean, it's funny, but it's also really sad that this guy got elected. Which is exactly how I felt.
It's sad with an exclamation point.
It is. It's sad with an exclamation point for sure. I mean, he's our whole exchange. If you read it, I mean, he said nothing to me that he hasn't said to Kim Jong-un or to other people. Like, it's not like he hasn't grown at all. This guy has been stuck. I mean, he's really like he's always been that kind of terrible kid that was in the rich kid camp in the 80s, sex comedy movie across the lake. That's all. That's who he's always been.
Oh, there were so many smaller parts in Porky's involving somebody exactly like him. I love the little things, like you just sort of the little ones, the sort of like just sort of quiet zingers are some of my favorite, especially when you comment on his punctuation. He does one where it says, "Bigger means bigger, dummy. You really are stupid, aren't you?" Exclamation point. So it's not a question. He knows that you're a big dummy, and he's yelling it, hence the exclamation point.
It's so funny because and it's between not using the correct final punctuation, whether it's a question mark or an exclamation point, and the seemingly almost spasmodic use of quotations where they don't belong. That's my favorite thing. He'll throw quotes around a word that it's like at one point, I don't know, a couple months back, he's like, my accuser in quotation marks. Well, no, they're literally your accuser. By putting quotation marks, you're saying they're not really accusing you. They actually they have a valid point, but
yeah.
He doesn't know that. He's not smart, is what I'm saying. I mean, long story short, he's not a smart man.
PJ O'Rourke is raised. Trump is no mystery to anyone who's ever raised a toddler, and I think there might be some truth to that.
It's absolutely positively true, and also not just a toddler, but if you've raised a toddler, chances are your toddler was better. But when you've had a sleepover, and every time you have a sleepover, there's that one really crappy kid. That's who he is. He's like the worst toddler at the party.
I don't like children.
Yeah, she is.
I don't blame you.
Well, and also, the one fan of the only children that you do like are the fake kind involving One Modern Family. And you guys...
Boy, that was a great segue.
That is the first time we've ever
Here you're killing someone. Is it Lily?
She got
I'm not saying it should be, but I'm saying it could be.
That is, we are fascinated. We're both huge fans. We've seen every episode. And I will say, even though you're on the phone, the best way to give you a visual on Joanne is she looks like Haley, but she's about as cranky as Jay. So that is the way that I could sort of describe you to her right now. Mm-hmm. Although she has a vaguely ethnic look that could give you a little Lily.
Sure.
Yeah, so there's that.
I'll be doing some Googling.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah. Oh, please do. She was also Miss New York, but again, that didn't help with the crankiness. Maybe it was because she wasn't eating at the time. We love the show very much. We talk about it all the time. And, of course, we were very shocked at what is now the big news of the fact that there will be a, quote, major character, and I shouldn't have put the quotes around major characts, should I have?
Major, no.
Yeah, no, I guess so.
Very Trumpian.
That might be leaving us this year.
Right.
Well, what's the story here?
Oh, so here, I'm going to just tell you right now who it is. No, I'm kidding. Of course I'm not.
We thought we had a scoop.
But, yeah, you almost did. It's let's put it this way. The word we're using is the word that Chris Lloyd used in the interview was a significant character.
Yes.
With major characters. And it is something that I'm not going to tell you. But I think we just finished shooting that episode 2 weeks ago, and I think it turned out great. In fact, I will just say this. It's hard to do a show for 10 seasons.
Oh, God, I would assume.
If you think...
I have no idea.
Yeah, the most... Yeah, me either. Up until
I wish
now.
I
never
did.
had a job longer than 2 years. But, the most interesting family you've ever met has about 7 anecdotes that they break out at any given party. And so we've had to come up with, well over 1,000 stories for these people.
Yeah.
Such a good point.
So it's been hard. But that said, this year, we are all really, really happy with the episode. We're like, I can say that without hesitation. Sometimes there was a season or two where I was like, season 8, we're doing pretty good. But this year, I felt like we really hit our stride again. So I'm excited for you to see these episodes.
I'm looking forward to it, although I don't know if I should use death and looking forward to in the same sentence. And obviously... we discussed this already. Again, we are big fans, and this was one of our lead. We're a very hard-hitting show, so actually this announcement was our lead story several days ago. We're pretty much the 60 minutes of Compound Media, but
wow, hard news.
Yeah, the online theory. Of course, I thought it on independently, but of course it was all over the internet before. Right when I thought it, as there can be no original thought. But the going thing was that it might be Shelley Long.
Yeah.
Because a major character, but not like a central member of the cast. I know there've been that's a theory. That is indeed a theory.
That's true. I mean, we've gotten that's been one of the leaders. You know, we've had a few. We've had people who thought we were going to. You know, I think we may kill off. You know, one of the main ones, which is a possibility.
Oh my God, this
we've had
is killing me.
A lot of. You know what the most popular? Most people think we're going to kill off the dog. That's what I've been hearing a lot.
I don't see, but by that you would be killing off Jay Pritchard.
You can never kill off a dog. Let's be real. You would have PETA, everyone up in arms.
No, I guess it would depend how. If it was natural causes. I mean, if it,
yes.
You know, yeah. I'm going to give the scoop right now. The dog lives.
Oh,
so we've got something. Well, listen, Danny, I cannot thank you enough. The book is called He Started It, My Twitter War with Trump. This is a great stocking stuffer and actually conveniently fits into a stocking.
Yes.
Yes, it is. It's a very... Look, I'm pretty lazy, and the book was mostly written by the time I put it out.
I was going to say, just get
perfect amount of work, and it's really the only book that Donald Trump can say he co-authored.
Yeah.
So,
unlike The Art of the Deal, this was not ghostwritten.
No, I couldn't have done it without him. 95 pages of bliss.
It's very clear that he didn't have a ghostwriter in some of these tweets. I'll tell you that much right now. Well, listen, buddy, thank you so much. We'd love to have you in studio when next you're in NYC. It's called He Started It, My Twitter War with Trump. And the 10th season of Modern Family starts next week?
This week?
I think it starts this week.
This week. Good Lord. We have how they have grown. And goddamn how my crow's feet have gotten even crowier. Well, thank you so much, Danny.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you,
I loved it. It was very funny.
Thank you. Take care.
Really appreciate it. Bye.
Now, just